Okay, so this is the Suitor. This is an episode where Peppermint Butler's doing God knows what.
What did I say? I said don't fuck with Peppermint Butler.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, dude, he's like taking part in the dark arts. He's got Cinnamon Bun like hanging upside down, putting some sort of dark demon in him, and he's got all these weird things lying around. But then one of the giant, what are those statues called?
Gumball Guardians.
The Gumball Guardians comes, and you're not gonna distract me this time. Well done, Joey. So, comes and says, hey, there's all these suitors waiting to talk with Peoples, or to be with her. You're supposed to be in charge of this. So he finds this one at the end of the line, actually like the son of one who died. And because many have been waiting there like 300 years and stuff. And so finally he says, okay, you're good. Sends him in there. His name is Bracco. And they're doing this because Peoples is too into her science. She's gone like days and days without sleep. And so he comes in. She's still not interested, but he just vows, I have to live up to what my father said. I have to fall in love with you, and I do love you, and blah, blah, blah. So she figures, guinea pig. So kind of uses him as a guinea pig for a bit, and he loves it. And finally, he wants to do something nice for her, so he takes this quest away from, or asks for this quest, I guess, from Finn and Jake, to get this sort of, was it like a soul orb or something?
Stone.
Soul stone. He gets horribly burned and, disfigured and stuff. Brings it back. Turns out people doesn't need it. There's a better one. Or she makes a better one or something like that. And so he goes back to Peppermint Butler, who uses some sort of dark magic to make anyone who sees him fall in love with him, but also it disfigures the hell out of him, like even more so. But Peppermint Butler really is in love with him, I guess. Have my babies.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just sort of goes and back to Peoples and says, please let me be with you. And she's like, no, I can't, but here's a robot me. And goes, he seems to like that, goes off with her, tells Peppermint Butler what happened, and he slaps her really hard. It's one of my favorite animations because it just looks so painful. I mean, you see like her glasses fly off and the hair flies. It's so detailed for this show, and it just makes the hit so much painful. So
you should have given him to me.
So yeah, I thought this was fun. It's nice seeing. There is a part of me that can kind of identify with the workaholic aspect. I think in that moment where she's like, like her eyes are like all wrinkled and stuff, just like, what, I'm doing this. It's like I've had nights, mornings like that. Yeah, and I guess the big thing that sort of goes through my head is whether or not, I'm watching this and I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's committing himself to her, but, I mean, he doesn't know anything about her, I mean, I'm sure he's like, yeah, but no, those suitors do, they just want her because that's just how things go. It's how there's suitors, there's royalty, we must exchange land or whatever. So...
Doug, shall we exchange land?
It's got huge tracts of land!
Yes.
So it seems like he's very committed to convince himself that he's in love, so it's not something where he's like necessarily doing it for anything bad or evil. It's just, this is kind of all he knows because he's the only one, that got in, and his father, died to give him this post, so just the guilt he's feeling from that, I'm sure. So, yeah, and I think it's like, the only thing he's gonna understand is a yes, and so he gives this robo her, that's just gonna, obviously just say yes, and goes off, and yeah, it's sort of all he was looking for really was just a doll. I mean, he's just looking for something, he's looking for a prize. Here's your prize, bye-bye. But I like that they don't make him, like, mean or a jerk or anything like that. You know,
He's just an idiot.
Well, yeah, well, he's just lost, and it's
No,
like
he's just an idiot.
No, but you can see why, because he wasn't raised or that his father was dumb enough to wait in line for however long, and then somehow it's like, where was his wife, and did the wife jump her? Did he somehow give birth? I mean, it's like, we don't know, but, but there we are, that's the situation. So I think the only thing, we were talking with Jory a little bit about this, like, was Peoples really mean in this, or was she not? I think the only thing I kind of go, about is her using him as a guinea pig, which is really funny. I mean, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I'm like, that is kind of leading him on a bit. Unless you could argue that the whole thing she was working on that whole time was just making a robot for him.
That's possible.
You know, because she's like constantly measuring this stuff, and she's measuring when he's in love, and constantly. Actually, I think that's what was going on. The more I think about it, yeah, she was probably, because anytime he's like he's wearing the hat and trying to sort of come on to her. You know, he zaps her, or she zaps him with something, and then sort of looks at the readings and stuff. I mean, that might actually be what's going on. So that would make actually total logical sense. So yeah, I'm fine.
Sorry to see my daughter off camera going. Basically just going, in your face, Mom! No, I don't think Peebles was being a jerk in this one. I love you, sweetheart, but no, Peebles was being Peebles. That's the thing. He's been in line for 20 years. Yeah, he's an idiot for doing this. 20 years of being around someone and seeing how they act, you should learn to grasp onto how they are.
Well, but wait, does he ever actually see her? He's just waiting outside the door.
The door! Coming and going! That's like, the fact that she
Yeah, but I think she just walks in and walks out, that's it.
But the fact that she consistently ignores them, that one guy for 300 plus years, that should kind of say something right there.
Well, yeah, true, but, okay.
Exactly.
No, but this guy is born into this line. All he knows is this line.
It doesn't matter, though.
Yes, it does, and that's all he knows. He doesn't know anything from right or wrong. He just knows what his father said. It's like, you know, the minute out of womb, it's like, all there is this line and getting to bubblegum. That's all there is.
It's like to bubblegum.
Well, yeah.
I don't think Peebles was leading him on. I don't think he was foolish, because yeah, it was blind love. Like when he runs up to Finn and Jake and he's like, "Here, I'll do that. I want to do this," or he was following them and they're like, "Yeah, fine, go ahead." And Finn goes. You know, I'm trying to remember. It was like, this is a lost road. Like Finn tells him, "You're being an idiot for this. You're not going to get anywhere with this," and he does it anyways. And, like, I can't feel bad for him getting beaten up or maimed or whatever, because he's being an idiot.
Well,
he's not an adventurer. He doesn't know what he's doing. Finn and Jake does. That's why they were given the job and he was not.
Well, but, I mean, I feel bad for the guy because, like I said, he doesn't know any better. He's going to, and his intention is good. He just doesn't know that it's foolish and idiotic. I will say this, that I think this used to, I see this coming up more and more, in stuff where it's like, because the mindset before, I think, at least I know when I was growing up, there's always sort of this mindset of, if I try hard enough, you know, and if I love you enough, like, you'll love me and we'll be happy and was meant to be because I love you so much, you know, that sort of mindset. And I think that probably came from, like, a lot of programming growing up, or movies or shows.
It was movies and shows, yeah.
Yeah, and there's sort of this thing now where it's like they build it up, you know, that's like, no, it takes two. You know, it's two people, and they both have to agree. But they both have to agree, you know, to come together. It can't just be one person, "I really love you." If the other person doesn't, that's it. There's no, like, "Hey, I just have to love you more. I have to do even more." It's like, no, then you're just going after a prize. You're not going after a relationship. You know, so I think the sort of thing, I'm seeing this more and more now, where they're trying to make that more clear. Maybe because there have been so many years of, you know, just looking at a person as a prize, you know, sort of thing. Or if I love you enough, that'll win the day.
Yeah.
So I like movies, I like shows that very clearly show, no, this is not how this works. You need both parties. You need two people. Because I think they're probably, I'm sure there still are now, you know, people that are very nice kind of people. They just don't know any better. They're not very good. The stuff are not very smart. Hi. But I mean, there's people that do this stuff and they fall into these traps of thinking, sort of this very naive, quote unquote, innocent way of if I just love more, or it's something I'm not doing. And it's just, no, it's it's you need the other person. If the person's not into you, let it go. So yeah, so I like that this sort of tackles that. Even though I know it's not the first, it probably won't be the last, but I still think it's a good thing to keep emphasizing.
That's the computer, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
I'd like some clarification from the people in the comment section. In her office, in Peebles' little office, I saw milkshakes, and I know that's not the cat's name from it. Gunther's child was there.
Oh, the cat?
The pink cat with the bandages around his
I
head.
saw the bandages, but was that... I thought the cat was drawn a little differently.
I think that's supposed to be... That's why I'm asking, because I know they check... Some of them check the wiki and all that stuff. Yeah, that, and if you look behind Peebles, in one of the cages, looks like the guy from Thief City. Excuse me, where the one that... My jammies! My glasses! It looks like that's him in the cage back there. Literally, you just see him like... for like...
I totally missed. I didn't see
a little
that.
bit of time. So, I'm just curious if anyone else caught that, or if that's supposed to be him or not.
I love how you can just set... Is like, just go away, nerds, go! Find this out for me!
Wow,
I know I
did
can
not
look
say that was him.
I know, no, that's what your brain was saying. You're like, I know I can look it up myself, but I got a Mountain Dew. Not worth it. Mountain Dew, Baja Blast.
Limited time only.
He is the only person more obsessed with Mountain Dew than Benzai. I have never met a person more obsessed.
Limited time only.
Yeah, I see it. Thank you. And what is the story behind that? It's the one from Taco Bell, right? Taco Bell had their own special Mountain Dew. And
Now they have two.
Now they have two. And they canned one.
It takes two to make a thing go right.
Okay, there you go. It takes two people, it takes two do.
Yeah. And also, with Peppermint Butler, again, like I said, don't mess with Peppermint Butler.
I was always wondering what you were talking about when you said that. Now it's like, what the hell?
I told you, evil one. If you also look with Peppermint Butler, there is the ghost demon thing from... Remember the dungeon where Finn jumps down and he tries to test his skills?
Yeah,
And then he's just alone with the cat that's like, who kind of knows everything. Do you remember that cat?
Not especially, but keep going.
I used to love him too. Basically, that ghost is there as well. That ghost demon.
Was that the really white one that was there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This show is so tough because it's like there's always stuff. It's like I swear I remember that. I know I saw it somewhere, but it's like God, what was it again? How far along ago? I mean, like you were saying, there's a wiki of it. I mean, of course there is, but it's like that must be insane. Because there's just, like, a million things that keep coming back and have a backstory and stuff that, yeah, it must just be crazy.
And, by the way, I'm not telling him to go do it for
me.
Yeah,
you are.
It promotes conversation.
No, you're just awful.
Possibly.
No, there's no possibly about it. It's a definite.
Are you putting me on the same level as Peppermint Butler?
No, he's at least cute.
But I'm evil along those lines?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Drink your Mountain Dew.